Hello, good afternoon, good morning. We are live. Thank you for joining. Yesterday was a weird one, wasn't it? I wasn't expecting the massive decline across the board, across different stocks and indices last night. I didn't know where that came from. Could be a few different factors, I suppose, but I definitely wasn't expecting it. Hopefully, today we will see a bit of a reversal and it was just a little bit of a hiccup. But very, very interesting. Could just be end of year profits, whatever. We'll discuss all that. We've also got two other pieces of news, both Palantir related. A video that they released, which I think is quite interesting, and some stuff that is currently happening in London to do with the NHS Palantir deal, protests and whatnot. So we'll cover all that. And then, of course, we will look at Palantir stock pre-market, jump over to any live comments and all good stuff. So if you're watching this and you're not watching it live, make sure you press the live chat replay so you know what's going on at the end of this live. So let's get straight into it. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. So we have across the board falls on the indices. We had the NASDAQ fall by 1.5%, which is the biggest decline daily since October, I believe. The S&P 500 as well fell, worst day since September. Dow Jones had its worst day since October. So it was just across the board. And I saw it in my own portfolio as well. I've got some price alerts set up for Palantir, Tesla, Intelia, and they all just came in. They all came in. And these price targets were for different prices for the different stocks, but I wasn't expecting them all to be alerting me on the same day. Like this one's fallen, quick buy this one. This is at your price. But yeah, it did seem to be very interesting. Now, I don't exactly know the reason for this. I haven't, dived in too deeply. So if anyone knows the reason why the stocks fell yesterday and the indices, do let me know in the chat. I'll keep an eye out. But I think maybe it was profits taken across the board at the end of the year, maybe something to do with the oil prices and the geopolitical tensions that are building up in the Red Sea. Maybe options, maybe it was just a bit of a hiccup. I don't really know, but very interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens later today. Who knows though? Still, many people are thinking that 2024 is going to be a very, very strong year across the board, especially with interest rates coming down. They think that a lot of people are saying that the Magnificent Seven and the tech stocks in general will have a crazy good year. But a lot of people are saying that the money will actually move towards smaller cap companies. Maybe Palantir being one of those companies that has a great year next year. But of course, we never really know what's going to happen. We never know. Just seeing some people join. Adam, thank you for joining. Fast Eddie, we'll come back to that question. Tony, thank you everyone. Alan, good to see lots of people in here. So let's first start with, we'll start with some Palantir news. Right, we've got two things to discuss. Let's do the fun. We'll do the fun stuff first. So I'm not going to play this entire video because it's 5 and a bit minutes and I'm sure a lot of you have already watched it, but I'll just play it just for a minute or so, 30 seconds maybe, just to give some context. And then I want to speak about this quickly. So this was a video uploaded on Palantir's YouTube and on their X account yesterday. Now, what they've basically done is kind of funny, actually. They have produced an AIP demo for a use case for no other than Santa. Yes, you are hearing me correct. They have produced a use case, an AIP demo for Santa delivering presents, which is obviously like, they've put it out at this time of year. Great. But why have they done that? We'll talk about that. Let's just quickly watch a little bit of this just so you can get just so you know what I'm actually speaking about. Definitely watch this whole video though, by the way. Right, let's go.
It's a quick demo, which will hopefully show the team up north what's possible. Welcome to Santa's Command Center. All of the data in this demo is notional. At a high level, Santa has two tasks. Firstly, to find an optimal route through all of the countries where he needs to deliver presents on this trip. We've got a notional map here of recipients for this trip, which will be one of many trips for Santa on the night of Christmas Eve. We've also got some weather report data. As you can see, they're all in different languages. Rather than spending hours to piece together all of this data to find a safe Your optimal route. Santa could leverage the power of large language models using AIP logic.
Okay, so the idea that Santa has two main tasks: delivering presents and, globally in a time restricted fashion, and then deciding which presents go to which children. So those are the two tasks. You could get people to sit and figure out, what is the optimal route, which presents should go to which children due to age restrictions and stuff like that. But it would take an awfully long time because there are lots of moving parts. Obviously, this is a very trivial example. However, it is very, very relatable because many businesses around the world, especially when we think about supply chains, have these exact problems. They have different data sets, different pieces of data that all need to, you need to curate that data individually, but then you need to bring it all together to actually allow it to play into a much bigger picture. And without the power of large language models, just using maybe spreadsheets, people, like that is so time consuming and so difficult. So I'm going to just skip a little bit now, just to show you like some of the actual some of the actual functionality and how this system looks.
Use the optimal countries route 2 tool to get an optimal route given a list of countries. We take the output of this as the optimal route. Then we have a second LLM function which uses the optimal route as an input, and this time we give it access to the weather report data, and we say, look at this weather report data and decide whether it's safe for Santa to fly or not based on the weather conditions. Let's hit the run button. Getting back into the debugger view, we can see exactly what the LLM is thinking. It starts off by grouping the recipients by country, and this gives it all the countries that it needs to visit on this trip. And it says now that I have all the countries, it's going to use the optimal countries route 2 tool to find the optimal route, which starts at the North Pole, goes to Finland, the UK, France, etc. Then we go into our second LLM block, where the LLM will use the ontology to get the weather report data for each country. And it does this by filtering down to each country, and it gets the weather report starting with Finland. It mentions cloudy skies, light snowfall, and reduced visibility. However, it doesn't seem extremely dangerous for Santa's sleigh. I'll keep Finland on the route and move to the next country, the UK. And it continues to do this for every country on the list. If we scroll down through to Greece, we see that Greece has some extreme tropical cyclones with strong rains, thunderstorms, and gale force winds. It says this seems extremely dangerous for Santa's sleigh. I remove Greece from the route. Moves on to the next country.
Definitely watch the whole video. It's very, very interesting. But I think this is, although very trivial and just festive spirit, and it's a bit of fun, I do think this is important. And the reason I think this is important is because this is a way to explain AIP, to explain what Palantir does to the average person, giving them a use case that they can actually contextualize and actually understand. That is important for not only retail investors, like this may bring more investors into Palantir because they now understand what it does, but also for businesses. This lowers the barrier to entry yet again. This is a way that businesses can actually grasp onto this example to explain and talk about Palantir. Up until this point, it was very technical, I think anyway. I think that a lot of the demos that they've given require you to have some understanding anyway, and require you to have researched and spent time researching before you can even understand them demos. I think this isn't that. Although this still shows like the technical side of AIP, it is understandable for the average person. I think that's really, really important. Also, this to me is, it kind of shows how beneficial the AIP boot camps can be. Because I'm thinking, and I could be wrong here, I'm thinking that at the AIP boot camps, they obviously walk away within a few days, if not a few hours, with an AIP use case for their business with their data. But I imagine that during these boot camps, they sit there with the specialists and they put their hands on the keyboards. They literally do this exact thing that we've seen. They understand how to use it. Because it's all well and good having this very powerful tool, but if you can't give it access to the right data points and you can't, interact with the large language models in the way that you need to get the right outcome, then it's not that great. So I think this goes to show how powerful them AIP bootcamps are being in bringing that barrier to entry down, allowing people to walk away with not only a use case for their business, but also the basic understandings to get to work straight away. So very, very interesting. I'll do a whole video on this, I'm sure. But yeah, I like this. I like this. I've seen some comments saying this is a waste of their resources. This is a waste of their time. But I think it's going to do good for Palantir. And it seems like as time goes on, they are able to explain what they do better and better. And it is a confusing business, so it is taking some time. Right, now we move on to okay, let me give you some context. When I went onto my Eich account earlier this morning, I saw some things popping up about Palantir, which obviously always sparks my interest because it's Palantir. So I was having a look through, and it seems to be that there is currently, I don't know if it's finished for the day now, but this morning, very early this morning, there were a group of protesters outside the London headquarters for Palantir, picketing Palantir's headquarters basically and protesting that the NHS needs to get rid of Palantir. So I'm going to share my screen. I've put a tweet out about this already, and it's probably just easier to look at this tweet. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that okay. I'll try and zoom in a little bit. So what's going on here? NHS workers, okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. There is currently a 3-day junior doctor strike here in the UK. That's why this is happening as part of that. NHS workers and allies are picketing outside the Palantir London offices against Palantir working with the NHS. So these workers and allies and other people that are involved in this protest are blocking the entrance to Palantir headquarters. They're not letting anyone in or anyone out, apparently. That's what's being said. There's leaflets going around about this. You know, these people are passing out leaflets, whatever. And these leaflets are stating 4 things that they want. So here they are. Cancel the Palantir NHS contract. Bring all public service data management in-house. End the privatization, asset stripping and outsourcing of public services to corporations, and no public service deals with companies compliant in the Israeli occupation. So it's very much twofold here. We have got the argument that Palantir are a spy company, that they have access to data that they shouldn't, that they're stealing data, they're stripping data, they're selling data. They shouldn't be in the NHS. That's one argument. Then it's also grouped with everything that's going on in the world, all the geopolitical issues that, you know, Palantir have come forward before and said that they are proud to support Israel. And that is being used now as a reason that, again, that Palantir shouldn't be in the NHS. And this is, I'll just show you this video. I won't play it, but you can see here. So there's things saying that Palantir is supporting genocide, lots and lots of stuff. But at the moment, from what I can tell, there's not that many people here, about 100 maybe. And you can see, you can see what's going on here. Anyway, what I wanted to point out was a few things. So bring all public service data management in-house is one thing that they're calling for. How do I say this? The NHS have tried this time and time before. We've had care.data scheme. We've had other schemes and it hasn't worked. It has not worked to have a data management system in-house. It's failed. Because of whatever reason, it's failed. So they're trying something new with a company that has worked within the NHS before, done really good things, lots of pilot schemes, lots of case studies, and still this argument that it should be done in-house. Okay, that's one thing. Cancel the Palantir NHS contract. This is linked to the whole idea that they have access that they shouldn't, that they may be using data to unfairly treat minorities and to carry out different actions that are obviously not great. Like all this stuff that's building that ultimately, when it boils down to it, do they have access to data? Are they stealing data? Are they selling data? Are they going to steal that data and then use it to make their own platforms? No. Like this stuff has been debunked so many times, and it's so boring to still hear it being resurfaced continuously as an argument when actually it just is wrong. It doesn't make sense. One thing that they've said during this protest is that, I'm going to paraphrase this, and I'm going to have a whole video coming out later and I'll go into a lot more detail, so please watch that, but I'll just paraphrase it quickly. So they are saying, in essence, that Palantir have been given this massive multi-million pound deal, but it's been given at a time when the NHS is systemically for decades underfunded. Doctors are not being paid enough and waiting times are a huge issue. So why are Palantir getting all these millions of pounds when that British money could go to British doctors? That's the argument. What I think about that is the NHS underfunded? Yeah, I think so. Are doctors not paid enough in the NHS? I don't think they are. I think they should be paid more. Is there a waiting time issue? Absolutely. It can be really, really difficult to get an appointment even over here in the UK, depending on where you are. So I agree with those things. But one thing that I really don't agree with is that why would we protest against having Palantir because of reduced waiting times, when one of the biggest use cases of Palantir, one of the biggest values that they can provide the NHS and the British public, is that they can help reduce those waiting times? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Them two things are, like, it doesn't make sense to say that we shouldn't have Palantir in the NHS because they steal data, they sell data. No, they don't. And because we have a problem with waiting times. Well, yeah, that's why we need the FDP, and Palantir is the supplier of the FDP. So yeah, it's a really interesting one. We're going to have to just wait and see what's going to happen as this progresses. But I'll keep trying to cover it anyway. But I don't really know what to say about that, to be honest. Let's have a look what's going on with Palantir stock now. Zoom. Okay, it looks to be recovering. 1.68% up in pre-market to 17.54. Could we potentially see $18 again today? Who knows? But it looks to be recovering slightly from yesterday's blip. Who purchased Palantir shares yesterday? Let me know in the comments or the live chat if you're watching this live. Let me know. I did get a lot of notifications on my phone that different price points had been reached across my different stocks. It was going a bit crazy. I didn't actually add any yesterday. Maybe I will today, but we'll see. Right, now let's jump over to the comments. Got 121 people on here at the moment, so thank you every single one of you for joining. Let's see what's going on. Got myself 70 shares yesterday for Christmas. Nice Christmas present, that. I want 70 shares. Just the US market finished green or red today. Green is my guess. Yeah, it's looking promising so far in pre-market, but we will have to wait and see. You can never tell. Midwest is in the house. Thank you for joining. Right, back to this one. Good morning to you too, Fast Eddie. I am 5'7.5", 5'8" on a good day, maybe. Joining from the gym. We're going international and we're now going to other establishments also. I've been present but poorly this week, so somewhat muted. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, especially in time for Christmas, so that you have your full appetite and you can eat all the good treats. I just sort of answered this question. No, I didn't add any yesterday. Probably stupid of me. I should have added Palantir and Tesla, but I didn't. Not yesterday. When the market started dropping, I was with a friend having dinner and my phone was pinging off saying that my price, like I said, the notifications to say that my different price points that I'd set had been reached. And I didn't really want to just whip out my phone and start purchasing stocks whilst I was at dinner. So I didn't. We'll see what happens today though. Maybe I will. Yesterday was gnarly. Gnarly, nice word. I definitely never say that over here in the UK. I heard it was the extreme greed index triggered algorithm auto sell-off. Okay. What's the greed fear index saying now? Let's see. Okay, we are in greed territory right now, ushering more towards the side of extreme greed. And I guess this is going to happen when we're being told that interest rates could be cut next year and it's looking better next year. I imagine that will happen, but we'll see. Hello, Tony. Thank you for joining. Yep, my hair is down today. Not intentionally, just sometimes up, sometimes down. That's why I never get Christmas presents. Santa didn't even have New Zealand on his map. They're not planning for you. Can you leave a link to that video? Yes, absolutely. Let me give you that right now. I will put it here in the chat. Someone may have already done that, but I will put it in there in case. So here it is. Definitely watch it. It will give you more of an understanding as to how it works, but with an example that you can actually understand. And then you can use that example to apply it to supply chain issues, you know, acting proactively, not reactively, and all this good stuff that we talk about. Santa Rally was meant to be a permanent thing. Lol, naturally it had to expire. News. Yeah, what's going on? Someone let us know. This is a good point. A healthy pullback is natural and an opportunity to buy. Who knows when we'll get more buying opportunities? Who knows? Adam, if you're still in this live chat right now, I don't know if you are, but if you are, did you buy any Palantir stock yesterday? I think maybe the main goal of this Santa edit is the tone, which targets smaller businesses showing their creative side aside from their, it's definitely it's a change in tone, and it's a change in it wasn't using such technical words as well, which is what I noticed. Way more understandable, way more creative, way more personable. I really liked it. I think that was really good that they did that. And maybe we'll see that more and more. Maybe they can, I would like a series from them where they explain their products like AIP, whatever, to the average person in the most simple way with the most understandable use cases like this one. Okay, what else have we got here? Where are we? Got some people talking about their gym workout. From Australia, very cool. I do appreciate you coming because it's gone midnight for you and you're hanging out with us. So appreciate that. Won't swear on this live, but we can see the comment. Yeah, in ranks, nothing more or less. This is a pro-Hamas rally, really. Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it? Because all that's happening is that the thing that is meant to be helping the NHS is now being the thing that's being argued using all of this stuff to not help the NHS. Like, it doesn't make sense. If your problem is to reduce wait times, which is what was said there, then let's have Palantir be the supplier of the FDP and actually help reduce those wait times. But yeah, it's very, like you're saying there, Adam, I don't know how to say it really. We can see by what's actually on the screen when we show the video, what's actually going on, like what's actually, is Palantir in the NHS the real issue here? Or is it actually, like you're saying, something completely different? Thank you, Troy. Appreciate that. Yep. You've only got to do a little bit of research and you can actually find that they don't steal or sell data. Like, that's, I just do research and then figure it out. US Army and Scandinavian countries, Finland, Norway, Sweden, have joined information technology sharing alliance. Could be an opportunity for Palantir. Yeah, on that note, actually, I think there's a lot of opportunity in the European healthcare systems for Palantir. There's a lot of similarities between the NHS and the Spanish healthcare system, the Swedish healthcare system, whereby now that they've got the NHS contract, I think that they will integrate themselves more easily to these other systems, I think. Smash my like button and received a nice glowing cheek. Very rewarding. Thank you, John. I appreciate you smashing the like button. That's so YouTuber-y of me to say. Smash the like button. You say doctors don't get paid enough and should be paid more. Really, they're on good money as it is. Just my thoughts, of course. If you compare, if you compare UK doctors' salaries to other workers in the UK, yeah, they get paid really, really well. And it is a career where you will get way more money here in the UK than if you work in any other career, really, unless you're a business owner. Having said that, though, if you compare the UK doctor salary to other doctor salaries around the world, very, very small amount. Very small amount. And then if you look at it by an hourly rate with the overtime and stuff, then it's even more crazy. But yeah, it's just, I guess it's a personal opinion. I'm not a doctor, so I can't really say too much. I'm just comparing it to other careers whereby you're working a lot less hours and you have a lot less responsibility and pressure. And then I'm also comparing it to, doctors elsewhere. People are purchasing Palantir, got 20. Morning, Blake. Thanks for joining. 70, $1,000 more. Nice. You've all been on a shopping spree. Good morning to you too, Drew. I hope you've had a nice cup of coffee this morning. Nice. I wish I was sitting in the sun on a sunbed, reading a nice book. Lucky person there. Hey, no, I'm waiting for 15 to 16. Then I grab 20,000 shares. I'm collecting premiums until then, doing cash secured puts. It seems like a lot of people are waiting for that 15 range, actually. 20,000 shares. Okay. Wow. You put my tiny little portfolio to shame. I need some more shares. Who else is waiting for the $15 range? It seems like a lot of people. Got 44 more yesterday at 17.55. Nice, accumulating. The only reason Palantir is down is because I bought yesterday. Well, keep buying, please, because I would like some more. I'd like some cheaper shares. John, 200 more shares of PayPal yesterday. I keep talking about PayPal. I think there's an opportunity there, in my opinion, not financial advice. Haven't added it yet, though. But really, really down from all-time highs. A lot of changes happening, leadership changes. I think that it could do really well, but I just don't know. I haven't added it myself. Obviously, you think so, John. I think we get a dip more. It's good to go into 2024 lower than higher. So our year to date for 2024 will look, this is covering me up, will look better running from day 17 instead of 20 perceptional. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't mind it falling even more, to be honest. It just means I can get more shares. So yes, for sure. I got some more Palantir shares. The shares were lower than I currently had. That's the thing, the psychology of averages. Like if you've got a really, really low average, then there's something in your brain telling you do not add more at this price because it will bring your average up. But then on the other hand, you want as many shares as you can possibly get because one day you hope that those shares will be worth more. And the more you have, the more return you get, like the more money you'll have. So difficult. You only read out the comments that you want to. No, I've been pretty much reading them all, unless they're literally just, I can't say anything to them. I don't think I've missed anyone. No, I don't think I have. I'm going through them now. Nope, don't think I've missed any. Yes, the woke don't care about logic. Yeah. Have a look on, if you're on Blake, if you're on X, have a look on my X post that I posted this morning about this. A lot of good points in those comments. Hayley, they're all paid this thing. Hayley, they're all paid actors. They're all funded, all rally in Europe and America, how they print 1 million flags, football stadium posters. That's another conversation. Europe fallen. Interesting. Yeah, it does seem to be getting quite bad over here, honestly. From what, okay, you can literally only see my eyes now. From what I can sense over here in the UK, it is getting quite bad. I don't know if it's the same in America. All paid actors, they are all funded already in Europe. Thank you, though. Appreciate that. That's about my small amount of shares compared to you. Yeah, got to start somewhere, and I can only put in what I can afford at this point. I will keep accumulating, though. Absolutely. Is there private healthcare? Are you asking here in the UK? You can get, if you are, I'll answer that. So you can get private healthcare if you want to pay for it. Sir Lallington, thank you for joining as always. Good afternoon to you too. Yeah, nearly Christmas. God, we're only a few days out now. Uh-oh. Should really order some stuff, I think. I'm nibbling at Palantir under 17.48, but like Adam, I'll be back. I'll back the truck up at 16 to 15. Seeing this a lot. Waiting for 15, 16, waiting for 15, but that increases my average. Yeah, look, there you go, the average thing. Accumulating more shares so that I can live off covered calls in 30 years. I think what I'll do is if we see a significant price fall to around the 15-ish range, I'll definitely load up more. But at the same time, right now, I'm just throwing a little bit of money in each and every week that I can afford to, just so I can keep adding shares. If I had an amount of shares right now that I was already comfortable with, and I thought that that was a good place to be, then I would probably just maybe be waiting. But my biggest point right now is that I want as many shares as I can possibly get, because I haven't got enough, in my opinion, right now. My first Christmas with stocks and shares will be interesting to see them all play out. Yeah, I wonder what will happen next year. So many split predictions, but I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Well, it will be what it will be, and if we've got a long-term mindset, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just finished my first cup. I'm on a time delay. Get your second cup going. More shares are better. I have one average at 9 and now at 10, and it sort of hurts. Yeah, this is the thing. It does. If you like, when I saw my average go up for Palantir, because I started purchasing. Well, I started adding shares November 21, then I stopped, and then I started going in more and taking it more seriously, doing more research. March this year. So March this year, the shares were much, much cheaper than they are now. However, I've continued to purchase. So I've watched my average price go up from like $7 to $8, creeping up. It doesn't feel nice. Do you have price targets for Palantir and Tesla, or do you just dollar cost average no matter what? So yes, I do. And I wouldn't just keep adding if the positions went above what I think that what I want to pay right now. However, I haven't got to that point. So at the moment, I am very much just dollar cost averaging. But yeah, let's just say Palantir went up by so much and it was $30 right now. I wouldn't be adding any more at this current point, for example. But yeah, I do have my own price targets. When you're waiting for 15 to 16, but what if it never goes there again? Does that mean you're not going to buy? It's a good question. If we've got anyone on the chat that is waiting for 15 and 16-ish and wants to answer this, please do. Do you have private health insurance? How much does it cost per year, usually per person at your age? Well, I have no idea the answer to that question. No idea. So you can get sometimes through like work, your employer, you can get like private healthcare or private insurance, sorry, or you can pay a little bit of a premium each month towards it. But I don't know how much it would be if you were just to outrightly get that and you weren't doing that through your employer. So I'm not sure on that one. You'll have to have a Google. Let's see what Palantir is doing pre-market. Let's see what's going on here. It's going up even more now. So we're on 1758. So pre-market is up 1.91%. So basically 2%. So it's looking like it's going to be a more positive day in the market, but I guess we never know because yesterday it just all went downhill at the end. Interestingly, Tesla is also up by the same percentage pre-market. Let's have a look at PayPal as well. And PayPal's up by 0.86%. We are all on the first floor right now, people. Would it matter if we got Tesla at 15 or 17 before the run-ups? The elevator is still on the first floor. Yeah, this is what I'm sometimes thinking. Like, I'm not going to be selling anytime soon unless a fundamental thing changed. I'm very much going to be holding this position until 2030, maybe even onwards. And if it grows in the way that I am anticipating it to grow, and if it becomes as valuable as I think it will, then you're absolutely right. We're in early days. And if we buy at 15 or 17 or 8 or 10 or whatever, does it really matter? Probably not. But then again, if you've got a lower cost average, that's obviously better for you. It's a hard one. It depends on your time horizon. It really does. Is this really live? Yes, this is really live, Danny. There might be a few second delay, but yes, I'm live now. I am sitting here right now talking into this microphone and into this camera. Still buying now at 15. Still buying now, and I will buy heavy at 15. That's kind of my attitude as well right now. How much of your portfolio is allocated to crypto? I'm considering 5% in Ethereum Grayscale ETF. How much of my portfolio is crypto? I need to calculate it again, honestly, now that my portfolios have shifted a little bit. But I would say quite a substantial amount. Like if you want to think of it about how much risk I'm taking on, if you see crypto as risky, then probably I'm probably quite risky, I guess. Percentage wise, I really need to calculate it rather than just guessing, but maybe like 20%. I don't know. Let me see if I can. I think I put this on Discord not that long ago. If I can't find it, I can't find it. I have to. Okay, I have found it. That was easy. This is why Discord's amazing. So, yeah, about 20% is what it works out to be. And I only actually really have one position in my crypto portfolio. So very, very concentrated over there. But 5% might be a way better thing to do, especially if you don't want to take on a load of risk. Very volatile. But if you believe that there's massive upside there, it's difficult, isn't it? It's interesting. Do you think people were this skeptical of paper money when it was introduced? Probably. Like they were trading like goats and stuff before that. So yeah, maybe they're like, this feels fake. This doesn't feel, real. Like what's going on here? So yeah, you're probably right there. It's just a shift, isn't it? A massive, massive shift that is going to happen with blockchain technology moving away from money as we know it, in the financial system as we know it. I think it will happen though, in my opinion. Crypto still feels very split. Like it really seems to still be one of those things that people are very, very skeptical of. And I think that's for good reason. Like I think there has been so many scams in that industry, even just looking at the crypto YouTube space, so many scams. However, I think it is legit and I think it's going to happen. But I think most of the currencies that are out there now will just fizz away. I think there's only going to be, it's really going to, what's the word? We're going to get rid of a lot. It's going to funnel out, I think. Yeah, people were skeptical of credit cards when they were introduced. People are skeptical of anything new, really, aren't they? People don't like change. We don't like change. Right, we're going to start rounding it off in just a minute. I'm just seeing what's going on in the market right now. Okay, it's gone up even more. Pre-market now is 2.14% up, 1762. So it's looking promising. On that note, everyone, I will have 2 videos, I think, coming out today. So make sure you keep an eye out for those. I think they'll be very interesting. Leave your comments on those and let me know your thoughts towards the different topics. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this live. As always, really, really appreciate your support on this channel. Yeah, have a great day. Have a great Thursday, the 21st of December. We are very, very close to Christmas now. So let's all get in the festive spirit. And yeah, I'll see you all in the live tomorrow. And maybe some of you will comment on the video tonight. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.